Wow, that's a long intro, but want to
It's
make
a
sure
cool
everybody
one.
gets a chance to come in, get settled down, get your wine glass ready, or in my case, my soda, and whatever you guys,
Hey, what's in that glass?
while you're relaxing, your coquito, whatever, because it's almost time to have that coquito in hand.
Do you make that? Because I want that. You
Yeah,
gotta make me some. Sure. You gotta teach me.
Ray already has her bottles lined up.
Does she?
Yeah. She brought them over. She was like, "This is for when you start making your coquito." I was like, "Okay."
We gotta do that when you come in when we do our show in November. Maybe we can do like a little podcast about, and you can teach us. Because I'm dying.
No, Willie, we left yesterday.
Oh, how was your trip? How was your weekend?
It was great. Friday I had my colonoscopy.
Are you clean?
That's
Do you feel
fun.
clean?
Straight through clean. I'm good.
I'm proud of you.
Then I flew to Connecticut to Willie's house to record new music. So that was freaking awesome. It's always great working with my brother. And then came back yesterday. No hassles. I didn't get delayed. We didn't get stuck in Connecticut because of some creepy weather happening here in
It always
Florida.
happens to you. It does. It always happens.
I think somebody did a thing on me. Every time she flies, she has to get stuck.
Your visitors don't want you to leave. That's just a good sign.
Okay. It's great to see everyone in the house tonight. Thank you again for showing up, for supporting. We have a great show for you tonight, as always, as we do every Monday night. We look forward to seeing you guys. We look forward to hanging for an hour or 3. You never know. You never know. Our house all-female crew happening today.
So cool.
So I'm excited about that.
I am so excited.
Before we go into that, I didn't ask you how your weekend was going.
It was good. What did I do this weekend? I don't even remember.
This is why I don't ask her what she did on the weekend
Because I forget. I'm like 5 seconds. I'm 10 seconds in. It's like it comes in and it goes.
Oh, look, seashells.
And let me tell you, squirrel, Monday has been Mondaying, but this is something I look forward to. I love to see you. I love my girl. We text all day. So it's always, I love doing this with you. We've been having fun. And last week was great. I did do something this weekend. And when it dawns on me, I will probably midway through the show tell you what I did this weekend. Right now, I don't remember. But I do want we're going to do the freestyle buzz. I mean, we have 2 amazing guests, so we're going to get right to it.
House.
Hi, Brazil. Thank you, everyone who donated. For Sal, he had $1,000 goal. My son, he's doing the Fitness for Education. All the money raised goes towards improvements for the school in the community. They help homeless. They help families in need in the area. And so his goal was $1,000. He reached it, and he's $20 away from his $1,000 goal. So thank you to everybody that don't. I know, right?
You Brenda?
He is. Well, how about he says to me, Mom,
you sent out the link?
I put it on Facebook. He made a little video. Here he goes. Come say thank you.
You know I'm not on Facebook a lot.
Aunt Naya's on. I know. You have a life. You have a
He
job.
has to send Aunt Naya the thing separately. Hi, honey bunny.
Say hi.
Hi.
And thank everybody for donating.
Thank you for donating.
Beautiful things.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for your thank you. Goodbye. Go do homework. Go do what you do. Well, Brenda K in the room.
And then we got BK.
BK, we love you. You got to come on. So you want to intro for the freestyle buzz?
Yes. Let's get this popping.
What's this freestyle buzz with UnDENYABLE?
Welcome to the UnDENYABLE Freestyle Update. My name is CPR Jose Ortiz. This week's edition of CPR's Clubhouse Freestyle Universe and the Top 10 Countdown, featuring brand new music from this man, Jay Mazur, and Light You Up. Plus, the Top 10 Countdown is hosted by the Duchess Cheryl Rodriguez this week, featuring music from Jenni Renee, O'Dallas, and of course, Deneen. Will she hold on to the #1 song for 8 weeks in a row? Tune in to find out. Check out CPR's Clubhouse Freestyle Universe on all your favorite digital distribution sites, Apple Podcasts, and of course, CPRSmusic.com. And Freestyle News is CPR Jose Ortiz saying good night, and back to you, the undeniable ladies of freestyle.
How great was that? You want to know? I'm not saying the bathroom story. We'll have to have Gino on. Let's just say Best Buy will never be the same. That's all I'm going to say.
I don't think I want to know.
You don't want to know.
Yeah.
We want to thank JJ for moderating tonight. Thank you, JJ. She's in the house, making sure everybody stays kind in the comments. But do you want to introduce this amazing first guest that we have?
Yes. So this young lady I had the pleasure of meeting a few years ago, and her presence was so engaging. And you know, when you meet someone for the first time and it you know, it's a hit or miss, it's like, I don't like their aura. Oh, why did she look at me up and down? The minute you meet her, it's like you're engulfed in like serenity type of thing. You know, she has this aura about her that's all about woosah. You know, it's all about ignore the bad stuff and just suck in the good. So that's what, besides being a great friend, she's beautiful, she's talented, she's a writer, she's a singer, she is just well-rounded in everything that she does. So remember her debut single, All Hooked Up, and I decided to have her on today. It's about time that we had her on. So everyone put your hands together for Miss Jenni Renee.
Woo, my girl.
What's up, guys? Like, you were talking about me? I'm like listening. I'm like,
someone says that. Wow, is that? But you know, those are just the accolades that you guys have. You know, you are phenomenal from head to toe, Miss Thing.
I'm trying to make sure I don't mess up my makeup. But.
No, you look hot, girl. Listen, All Hooked Up was probably, I remember I was so much out of the loop. And I remember Gino, for those of you, you know, everybody knows Gino's my manager, we're family. And I heard that record and I'm like, who is she? This is going to reinvigorate freestyle, because there hadn't been a record for a really, really long time. And I think for me, All Hooked Up, probably one of the best records in the last 10 years in our genre, by far. It's true, Jenni. You're amazing. You're talented. You're like Naya said. How did that feel like? And how did you start in freestyle? What was the motivation behind the song? And how did you break into freestyle?
So being a freestyle fan since, you know, I was a little girl, you know, since I am a little bit younger than most freestyle artists, I started listening to freestyle when I was about 13, 14 years old. And even back then, I had met somebody I went to high school with, who is now my fiance, Manny Man. And, you know, we just grew up listening to freestyle. It was just kind of like, you know, what we did, you know, and when I was 16, I remember standing in line to try to sneak into a club just to hear, you know, somebody perform. I'm trying to remember who was performing. I'm pretty sure it was Cynthia performing that night. Sneak in the club and I couldn't get in. I was only 16 and my friend couldn't sneak me in, but it's always been a part of my life, and singing has always been a part of my life as well. And I'm pretty sure that you guys know, like, you kind of know when you're younger, like what kind of talents you have. And I can remember the first time someone told me that I could sing. I was in second grade. It was my chorus teacher, and she told me I had a beautiful tone and I could sing. And my dad would always make me sing for him in the car, because back in those days, he didn't have a radio in his car. And so he would have my sister and I sing for him. Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of where I found out I could sing. And then in high school, actually more like middle school, high school, it kind of became my thing, because I was a white girl in a sea of ethnicity. And I had to kind of prove my you know, I guess my street cred a little bit by singing. And so I would out-sing some of the girls in school, and we would just have sing-offs and things of that nature. But how it turned into singing freestyle, Manny and I, we had a friend that came to visit, and his name is Jay Allums, and we had no intention of working on music or anything of that nature. And of course, Manny and Jay started talking, and Jay was like, I would like to record her. And so we flew up to Connecticut at the time. Yeah, he was in Connecticut, and we recorded All Hooked Up. We had no idea the impact that it would make and how it would, you know, affect the freestyle community. But it was evident that the community was hungry for just something new. Not necessarily, you know, like anything, but just something that was like authentic and fresh and still kind of captured what we love about freestyle music. And, you know, we were able to capture that in All Hooked Up. And then Gino came along, and I can remember him telling me one time, it was either him or Angela, that that I reminded them of you, Deneen. And so it was kind of like, maybe that's why Gino was so invested. But he put out All Hooked Up to the world. He distributed it. It was one of the first freestyle records to stream like 250,000 streams in like a couple of months.
That's amazing.
And Carlos Barrios, he did a final mix of my music, and just to have people who are legends in the genre like Carlos Barrios, Willie Valentin, Gino Caparelli believe in me enough to push me out as a new artist without really even knowing what I was capable of, just kind of helped put me in front of everybody. And so that's how the world came to know Jenni Renee.
And she's here to stay.
That's a good way of getting to know Jenni Renee. I remember seeing the cover, right? And I was like, she was wearing her hot pink hoodie and her hot pink her kicks, and I'm like, who is this girl? Because I at the time I didn't know, I didn't put Manny and Jenny with Jenni Renee, and I was like, what? With her hoodie, and I was like, what? I like that look. What's that?
But it's funny because you met me before that. Mm-hmm. I was with Manny. They had booked you for a show, and I introduced myself to you as Manny's girlfriend, and it was still kind of new. And you looked at me like, girlfriend, like you're looking me up and down like, when did Manny get a girlfriend?
Down.
Because Manny's one of those people that you don't usually see around, right? He's real quiet, real, like, he keeps to himself. But when you get to know him, funny character. About his personal life, for me, it was still the old Manny. So when we saw him, he slimmed down and all this, and I was like, oh, Manny has a girlfriend now. I had no freaking idea. And this gorgeous blonde bombshell comes out, I'm Manny's girlfriend type of thing. And I was like, oh, okay, hello. Pretty, I can sing to boot. What the hell? Go ahead, Manny.
Manny is the man.
Manny man. So, sure. Jenny, after you did All Hooked Up and you toured a little with your song, you also had a little milestone because I believe that's when you went and did the collaboration with Stevie B, correct?
Right. So picture this, okay? You have a 40-something-year-old artist coming out with her first record, right? And then everybody who was listening at the time, George Lamont, people who were in the industry for many years, decades, they were giving us advice as far as like, you have to come out with another record. You can't just have one record hit, you have to have a follow-up record right away. So I scheduled some time in the studio with Jay Allums. I think at the time it was Jay, George Anthony, and Manny had already written a song for me. So I went up there to record it. And I recorded the whole song, did it exactly the way they wanted it. But Jay was like, nah, Jen, I don't think this is it. I don't think this is the next record. And so we were frustrated because we had committed so much time. I had flown to Connecticut. We spent hours in the studio. And so out of frustration, he started mashing on the keys. He was like, just sing something to this. So, he started playing on the keys and I started singing It's All Right, because like Naya said, I'm Mrs. Positive. Like the whole world could be crashing around me and I'm still trying to find that glimmer of hope. Mm-hmm. And so we recorded a demo vocal for It's All Right. And so we just kind of played around with it, recorded the demo vocals, and we were going to come back and revisit it and do the final vocal. As a lot of you probably know, and as artists, like usually the first time you sing a song, especially when you're writing it, is not the one that you put out. Right. I was recording all day. My voice was tired. This was just so we had it on record, right? So we didn't lose the idea. And so at the same time, Jay Allums started creating a buzz too, because, he just produced this record, All Hooked Up. Everyone's looking for him. He's, the go-to guy right now, as far as productions go. And Stevie B also wanted new producers, new content for his album. So he reached out to Jay and said, Jay, you got anything new you're working on that I can hear? And so he played It's All Right for him. And next thing you know, I'm getting a text from Jay Allums. And if you know Jay, sometimes it's like the first time you don't know if he's joking, right? So he's like, Jen, Stevie B wants your record. And I'm like, just playing around back with him. Well, it's my song, my next song. What do you mean he wants my record? He wants it for his album. And so at first I really didn't believe Jay 100% until he sent me the voicemail that Stevie had sent him, about the record. And so, I'm like, well, I can write him a verse. I think it was Stevie who kind of suggested that it could be a duet. And he had never met me before, but he loved the record. He loved my voice on it. And, maybe I met him at a show before, but not as an artist. And so I wrote him a verse. I sang it for him. So he had like a reference track. He recorded it in Las Vegas. Jay Adams did the final mix on it. And we used the same vocals that we did that night. We got the inspiration for the song.
Love it.
So it was good enough. We kept it, and Stevie sang his part, and it sounded like the record was always meant to be a duet.
I love it.
Stevie. And he released it on his album. What was the name of the title? The best. I forget the name of it. It was on Sony. His last record, BBB, The Best of Life.
Wow.
The Best of Life. And so here I am, like a little known new freestyle artist, and now I'm on somebody as huge as Stevie B. I'm on his album, and to my understanding, it's the only female duet he had ever done before.
That's pretty cool.
It was a pretty huge deal. It was just the Lord, like God lining up everything for me, and you can't pay for those types of experiences. They just happen.
Yeah. Wow. I love hearing you tell that story because it is so true. And I know you personally. We're all three of us are friends, and you really have the best heart. And you love music so much. I love watching the creative process. I've had the opportunity to work with you on stage. You give so much of yourself. And a lot of people, even in the chat, are saying you did a remake of, you reimagined, I'd like to say, To Be in Your Arms by Laissez-Faire. One of my favorite songs. They were on Metropolitan with me. But you breathed new life into that track, which I love. I love when an artist will make a record their own. And to me, you've always done that. What inspired you to revisit that song? Was it just one of your favorites, or did someone suggest it? And how did you approach it to make it your own?
So I would like to take credit for it, but I can't. So again, there's other people behind the scenes like Manny, Jay Adams. I even think that Nyaja's husband was involved with kind of like trying to figure out what song was going to be my next record. And they were trying to think of freestyle records that weren't really mainstream freestyle records. Like you had to be a real freestyle fan to know that record. If you were just somebody who just listened to the legends and, the mainstream hits, a lot of freestyle fans didn't know that record. So I'm not 100% sure at the moment who thought my voice would sound great on that record, but we recorded it. I was feeling it. I made it my own, but still tried to stick to the original production because as in covers you have to try to stay true to the original arrangement. And I felt that song and I made it my own, and it's actually one of my favorite records that I've recorded. I really feel like I was able to shine on that song. And sometimes it's easier to do a cover because you already know where to go with your voice. And when you're doing original content, sometimes it's like you get stuck, like what would sound good here, and where should I go vocally here? But we just kind of made it our own. Then Willie Valentine did a remix, an artistic remix, and it's one of my favorite records.
I remember hearing that song on the radio because they play that a lot in New York City, in the tri-state area. They used to burn it on the radio, and in Paradise. And I remember doing a couple of shows with girls, and Gina, she's like this big, she's like this tall, and the other girl, I was always like that little girl with the
big
power.
voice.
Yeah. And I remember her, and when you did, I was like, oh, that's gonna kick some booty. And
She did a good job on that. It's not easy to do. It's not.
Yeah, I didn't want to remake a song and not do it justice. It was already an amazing record. And we really tried to go about it the most professional, way. And I really hope that if any one of the ladies from Laissez-Faire hears the record, I hope that they know that, I was inspired by them to make it. And I hope that they actually like the record.
What can you tell us? What has been your most memorable performance moments up to date in your journey?
When I really started to hit the scene, COVID happened. Like my first record came out in 2019. It's Alright came out, and at the end of 2019. 2020 is when the world stopped. And I think one of the biggest moments for me was a show we did in Chicago. It was me and Stevie. It was 20 degrees outside, and it was a New Year's Eve bash. And they had, I think it was a stadium, definitely a stadium. I think it was like the SeatGeek Stadium or something like that. And what they had is every car parked in a parking space. Mm-hmm. So they set up the stage in the parking lot of the stadium. And you could come to the show as long as you were around your own vehicle. And, there was a good distance between the next vehicle. And it was during COVID. So everyone had their mask on. I remember having the mask match my outfit, and it's funny because I have all these amazing pictures with Stevie B, but I have a mask on, it was just one of those crazy moments. But there were so many people in that audience, and the way they introduced me on stage, and it was televised all over Chicago. And I really think that helped me, with my Chicago fan base. But that is probably the most memorable. English is my first language. Memorable concert. And, it was a huge opportunity. And I want to thank Stevie B for believing in me enough to bring him on stage, in front of thousands of people several times. I did a bunch of cities on the East or the West Coast with him, Texas, Cali. So it was a huge deal for somebody who just came out as an artist. So you can already imagine how nervous I was. But
I can imagine.
Yeah, I just went out there and did the best I could, and worried about it later.
I think you knocked it out of the park. I love watching you perform. You're very personable on stage, and I've watched you evolve into. You're growing into this even better performer. Every time I see you, you get better and better, and that's what I love about you. I think you strive to get better, and that's what advice can you give anybody who that is coming up right now as a newcomer, because you've punched a hole in freestyle. For somebody who's new, for me, I feel like you've been around forever. What advice can you give to someone who wants to break into this genre?
I would say
don't do it.
The genre.
I would say make sure your product is really good. So make sure your music is top quality, as best as you can afford to make it. So make sure your production is good, your vocals are good, your mastering is good, your artwork is good. You want to make the most professional product first. Then you can start promoting that. Go do your shows. I remember I asked Carlos Barrios before I ever hit the stage on my first show in San Francisco with Gino. I asked Carlos Barrios the same question, what would you give a new freestyle artist? What advice would you give? And he told Gino, he was like, she's the real deal. That's what he told Gino. But the advice he gave me was make sure your stage show is tight. Make sure you look good on stage, you sound good on stage, make sure your stage show is tight. So that would be my best advice. Have a good product. Make sure you invest as much as you can. I know, a lot of times we're starving artists, we got to pay bills, and sometimes we can't afford, the best of the best, but make sure it's the best that you can make, get it out there, and then make sure your stage show is tight.
Great advice. You're right.
Take notes. Take notes, because we definitely want to. How can the fans get in contact? Follow you. Where can they go? Where can they get your music? Give us information of your upcoming shows so that they know where to go catch your hotness.
Catch my hotness in Chicago on October 11th. I'm going to be a part of a huge show in Chicago. I have the flyer up on my Facebook page. You can always see what I'm doing on Facebook. I know I'm not on social media a lot. I'm just not one of those people who like to overexpose myself, I guess you could say. But I have a huge show in Chicago on October 11th. And then I also have another great show in the Clearwater, Tampa area on October 25th. So if you're in Chicago or in Florida, come check me out at those shows. I'll post the flyers on my Facebook and on my Instagram. If you look Jenni with an I, Renee, 2 E's, you'll find me on social media. Or you can go to my website, jennirenee.com.
She's got a good website too. It's very profesh. It is. I barely can get. I love it. I love your website.
Of you, Naya, because it's a Halloween theme. So I'm channeling my inner Nyasia, my gothic inner Nyasia for my outfit. So
That's why I wanted to go. I was like, so, I hope El Paso, if you're listening, better be some Halloween themed stuff going on up there.
You want to bring up the song that we did, Time, that we wrote together.
Let me tell you something. That to this day, the way that song came up, we went to go visit them, just to hang out for dinner or whatever. Jay Adams happened to be there, and Manny, as always, coming up with bright ideas, and they always hit. He's like, oh, we were talking about music. I can't even remember. Do you remember how the conversation even started?
So you came over to say hi to Jay Adams, and we were trying to monopolize on the fact that we flew him down. We built a studio for him to work in, and it was during COVID. And and Manny was like, while we got Jay Adams here, why don't you work on a production, with him? Let's maximize this opportunity. And so, you were here, and we started writing and recording. I remember we didn't even have like a sound booth yet. So
the towels.
So we found the thickest blanket we could find in the house, right? And we tried to build like something to drape the blanket over the mic. And that way, so we could soundproof the mic a little bit. And then Nyaja's behind the mic, and then she would peek out of the blanket.
Under the towel. It worked out.
Video of this. I would love to see it.
I'm pretty sure we have pictures.
It was like a sweat box. And it was, I was sweating in there, but that was good for the vocals. And Manny was sneaking there with the phone and take a picture. It was funny. But
if the fans only knew the things that we go through to make this music sound good. It was really funny, and I have pictures. I won't share them. I'll send them to Naya and maybe Denise. And
I won't tell nobody or show nobody.
But the song came out amazing. So
to this day, besides Now and Forever, it has been my favorite song, because not only the quality of the production, the words that fell together with all of us sitting there, writing lines or whatever, everything came out so quickly, produced, written, everything was done together in that one night. It was something that just out of the blue, it was kismet, and I love the song, and it's one of my favorite songs because not only the words and production, but the story behind it, how we all got together out of nowhere, because that wasn't planned.
If you think about what music is, they're frequencies, right? What are frequencies? Are energy. So Jay Adams and we just have this special connection, and you and I have a special connection, and Deneen and I have a special connection. So nothing but good things come out of that. And we're all musicians, we're all artists. So it's only natural that we would create something really cool together, you know? And I think I saw Tony Moran pop in here. So I want to give him a huge shout out. He's another one that I have to thank for, taking me under his wing and taking my song City Lights and doing his anthem, the Tony Moran anthem to City Lights, and pumping it in the clubs everywhere. So another huge part of freestyle history is, Tony Moran and the Latin Rascals. And when he heard my album, he heard it before we released it. He heard the demo in Willie Valentine's basement. And the next thing you know, and you know me, like the boys hang out and I'm sleeping on the sofa somewhere, right? And then Manny was like, you'll never believe what Tony Moran just asked me for. He goes, he wants me to send him City Lights so he can do his own mix, his own remix. And, again, another legend. It's just like one of those things. When you are a good person, this is what I truly believe, and I'm not tooting my own horn. I have flaws just like the next person. But I feel like you attract that. You attract other good people who want to do good things for you and never ask for a dime, And these people are legends. They deserve everything that they get, financially. But he never asked me for a dime. Stevie, never asked for a dime. Those types of opportunities you can't pay for. They're priceless.
Well, they want to lift others up. That's what this should be about. It should be about lifting others up.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The last time I was with Tony, we were having breakfast. It was him and I and Martin and JJ and Hep, and he asked me for the stems of Now and Forever. He's going to do one of his Tony things to it. So I was like,
go right ahead.
Pumping it in the club.
Willie, send them. So so that's a great thing. And for future projects, I mean, it's just straight to the top from here, because it's all positive. vibes, and like she said, once you have that's the starting point. You know, once you have your positive vibes, you can just do anything.
That's right.
You know, and this lady, you know, she can write you a song. You'll sit there and be like, well, this is what I'm thinking about, and she'll just sit there, boom, 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 boom. Here, it's done.
I've been writing songs since I was a little girl. It was just something I did. I've always been a writer. A little fun fact: I am a direct descendant of the person who wrote the dictionary. Okay, through my father. I'm related to Webster, the Webster Dictionary. So just a little fun fact. All right, but
I love that.
I don't know how I'm gonna compete with AI now. Everybody's using AI to write their music.
You'll
so
be
I'm
fine.
like a little salty about
You
that.
know what? There's nothing that compares to originality and trust us. So, you know, you're gonna be just fine, homie. You always are.
Speaking of you will be fine. You are the OG. You are the OG of the new school generation. And we have somebody here who Naya had said, I think it would be a good segue to maybe bring our next guest in. Jenny, you're going to hang out with us, right? You're not leaving. Yeah. We're not letting you go.
I'm going to actually go in the chat and like respond to everybody's comments and stuff. So I'm going to give a few shout outs before I leave. Is that okay?
Go right ahead, girl.
First, I want to thank you ladies because you both embraced me. Naya, you already know, like, we're sisters, you know, like we do each other's hair, makeup, you know, that type of deal, right? Sleep in each other's beds, it doesn't matter, right? Drink after each other. Deneen, I know you and I have just started our friendship, you know, in the past year or so, but you fit right in and you're very special and you have this unique energy about you. It's so contagious and you're so much fun. You are just,
thank you.
You're the fun girl. I'm not really fun unless I'm around other fun people.
Well, we're going to have fun in December. We're going to plan a girls trip.
Oh,
I haven't told her yet.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. But I'll see you in Chicago, right? You're on the lineup.
We're on the lineup. Yeah. I'm so excited. So me, you, and Manny, we were on the cruise. We had a ball. Manny, Sal loves him, my son. You guys are awesome. It's like family. It really is, and that's what this is about: community. And thank you, Jenny. You're just, you know, maybe we'll all get to do a song together someday. I hope.
Yes,
so.
So shout out her main man.
Say again.
You better shout out your main man.
Oh, Manny,
he's watching. I spoke about him already enough. No, I'm just kidding. Manny, I know you're watching. You know, thank you for never giving up on your dreams to be, you know, involved in this industry. And, you know, I know when we first got together, we never imagined that we would be making music together. I know when we were kids, you know, we would talk about it, but for it to actually happen, it's just, you know, a dream come true for the both of us. I want to thank you for all the endless nights and, you know, the attention to detail, making those album covers. Shout out to Tony Armis, you know, who has, you know, come along in the past couple of years and has been a big part of, you know, our product and making our videos and our covers and everything. And then also want to shout out Willie Valentine, you know, for mastering my first record and then, you know, being a part of my music ever since and embracing me and believing in me. I'm sure I'm going to forget everyone else that's involved. I know you guys have another amazing guest and there's only like 10 minutes left of your show. And I'm so sorry.
No, we're good. We don't follow rules. We're good. Right now, we're like the bad girls.
And of course, Jay Allen, you're incredible. And I want to thank all of the legends that have, you know, just, they never hated on me. You know, here I was this new girl. I'm not trying to replace anybody. I'm just trying to be another girl who makes music for the freestyle family. And I want to thank the freestyle fans for also not hating on me, you know, and giving me a chance to show them what I got in my music and, you know, giving it a chance and actually supporting it. You know, I've met a lot of amazing people in the past few years. And I just want to thank all of you guys for believing in me. And, you know, let's just keep doing it, right? Let's keep supporting each other, being good to each other, and keep it moving.
I love it. Oh, God, I got goosies. You do. Jenny's going to join you in the chat.
So, all right, I'm going to go in the chat. I can't be on camera, and I can't do this all the time.
Neither can I. I love you, Jenny. Bye, Jenny. Bye. I hate making people go away. I feel bad. Like, I'm like, yeah.